The wild Mustang, a living, breathing symbol of America's spirit, uninhibited, undaunted, free. The Mustang is a survivor, having outlasted most of its predators, but as its range and its resources shrink, the Mustang's success could be its demise. As the government searches for solutions, passionate people reach out to save these great animals, to save the wild Mustangs, to save our untamed legacy. "25 miles north of Nashville, in the town of Cross Plains, wild meets mild. It's pickup day at the Car, Wild Horse, and Burro Center. Almost 80 horse trainers have been paired with 80 wild Mustangs gathered out west by the Bureau of Land Management.
Okay, ready, set, go.
What looks like chaos is actually a well-orchestrated plan created by the Mustang Heritage Foundation.
Our mission is truly to take the horses that the BLM have already removed from the wild lands and then get them good homes.
Trainers have 100 days to gentle the horses for the Extreme Mustang Makeover, a national training competition for prize and pride.
$500
The Mustangs are adopted out through bidding.
Give me 300 in. 300.
So our efforts here with the Mustang Heritage Foundation is to create programs and events that really show the value of these horses. How are you doing all this? You crazy?
I love the Mustangs.
Yeah?
Can't get enough of them.
The Mustang Heritage works with the BLM to place over 1,000 Mustangs each year.
Ready, set, go.
This is the first time the Extreme Mustang Makeover has come to Tennessee.
Thank you, darling,
Oh,
for
thank you
everything
for
that you
having
do.
us. This
And
is
your
fun.
horse is fixing to jump in your trailer.
How are you doing today? You doing good?
Paula Carr's ranch has been the site of wild horse adoptions for 30 years.
I'm really pleased to say that in that whole 30 years, I have never found a horse I didn't find a home for, a good home.
Paula has 30 Mustangs, one for every year her facility has been open. She can still remember her first encounter.
You could see that they were a little bit frightened, had no idea what you were going to do to them. And I tried to talk to them very quietly that the purpose of them being here was to find someone to love them. Oh, bloody cases.
The Carrs have placed more than 20,000 animals over the years. Impressive for what some consider the mongrel of horse breeds.
You doing good? Some people think paperwork makes an animal, and it doesn't. And a real horse person, the paperwork or the bloodline really should not matter. It's what's in the heart and in the mind of a horse. Dad, oh goodness.
And the heart and mind of its owner.
Once you bond with the Mustang, they teach you so much. They teach you to be patient, they teach you kindness, they teach you really love.
And this, where?
In the pin right there. 320. Big boy.
Sue Ann Wells knows that love and kindness firsthand.
He's a lot leggier than anyone.
Yeah, he is.
adopting the wild Mustang for me has become addictive, I must say, and I think it's because of what they do for me and for my friends who have recently become more involved with the wild horse.
It's gorgeous.
I'm not seeing it.
Addictive is right. Sue Ann has 8 Mustangs. Mustang 0320 could be number 9.
I like his looks. There he is, looking at you. There's a good picture.
Among the people this brown gelding will get to know, horse trainer Ed Dabney.
I like that he's kind of curious and looking over here and checking things out. So we'll just see how accepting he is of the human and our approach and presentation to him.
It's off to Chattanooga to Sue Ann's farm and 0320's training ground for the next 100 days. The very first pen of his own, one of many firsts to come for 0320.
Well, I think he made the trip well, checking everything out, eating a little bit. That's a good sign.
Hey, sweet boy. Hey.
Sue Ann makes the Mustang feel at home, careful to give space.
He's relaxed. I think he realizes that he's died and gone to heaven.
Like all BLM Mustangs, 0320 bears a Freeze brand, uniquely identifying his age, gather date, and location.
And it's a permanent mark, but it's kind of our Nike swoosh, you know, to kind of throw that mane back and see that freeze mark number there. It really delineates that horse from all the other horses.
But one thing is missing.
We haven't come up with a name for him yet. I don't think 0320 will do.
Day 1 comes to an end. 0320 settles into life on the farm. Been a long trip for 0320, from the open range out west to a pasture by the Tennessee River. Quite a story. And where there is a horse and there is a story, there's always a cowboy poet.
While riding up in the pinyons that cover the highland, I came upon a wild Mustang band. There were 6 rangy horses grazing out there, counting the stallion and the lead mare. I stopped and stared at the beautiful sight. There were 4 bays, a roan, and 1 black and white. The big muscled stallion stood perched on a rise, and he followed my every move with his eyes. Then somehow he signaled to the lead mare in a language that only wild horses can share. She turned and led that herd up a winding trail, and her movement broke my hypnotic spell. I admired their sure-footedness and their survival skills as they followed that boss mare up those rocky hills. The stallion went last as he brought up the rear, a protective maneuver and not out of fear. It was an awe-inspiring scene to watch the band flee, but then a wistful, melancholy feeling overwhelmed me. The Mustang, like the Cowboy, symbol of the Old West, drifted into the sunset and vanished over the crest.
A cowboy poet musing on Mustangs.
We're going to be turning right up here, and then we're going to be going on a kind of a bumpy road. I trust my driving. I hope you guys will trust my driving.
Ann Hall is a Nevada native who spends her days on rocky roads.
But there's actually three horses over there on the side of that flat hill over there.
Witnessing life's rocky roads.
They're way tougher than people give them credit for.
In the foothills of Nevada's Virginia range, Ann is quite familiar with the wild horse bands. She's been following them for 5 years.
We're going to go out to this band. It consists of a Palomino mare and her 2-year-old colt, and the brown stallion, and then the buckskin stallion with the long mane. He's very persistent. Stallions that don't have their own bands will try and acquire their own mares, and he's been following this band for 4 years now in hopes to get this mare.
Each day she preserves Nevada's nomads in the best way she knows how.
You're okay, bud. You're a good boy.
And she does it all for free.
I have approximately 8 binders at home, all data on all the horses as to the sires and dams and the babies they've had and what years they were born. I feel very privileged to be allowed to hang out with them.
Privilege that's become respect.
There's no written rules out here. They make do with what they've got. Sunny, sunny, sunny.
Like children of her own, and names the band members.
The Palomino mare I named Sunny, and the stallion behind them, the brown, is Dooley. He kind of looked like a mule, so I called him Dooley the Muley. And then there's the buckskin stallion with the long mane, and I call him Piggy.
What do you need from me? Is there anything I can give? I'll give to you. What are you doing to me? Showing my soul a way to rise upside down, inside out. The wheel has turned and love fell out. Yeah,
The unscripted drama she witnesses, better than TV.
It's like, Green Acres or As the Desert Turns. I'm not sure which. It's a lot of tragedy. It's a lot of joy. It's a lot of life.
There's no salary for her work, no bonuses, no pats on the back. Instead, the nomads give her wealth that is intangible.
They're a free spirit. They're the heritage. They're the working class for us Americans, the Westerners. They're the free spirit, and it would be a shame to see them all disappear.
This is an area called Stockton Flat. It's in central Lyon County in Nevada. It's about 16,000 acres of BLM land, which runs from the valley floor all the way up to the ridge tops. It's spectacular.
Missing is the iconic image of manes and tails flowing at breakneck speed, the sound of thunderous gallops. In fact, wild horses seem not so wild.
We could learn a lot about energy conservation from the horses. They will run when they need to. They will run, if a couple of stallions are wanting to have it out with each other and so forth. For the most part, they're pretty easy going.
Willis Lamb is an outspoken wild horse enthusiast, enamored of the Mustang's survival skills.
The difference between these horses and pasture horses is the environment. Mother Nature shapes these horses. They have to deal with all the issues here. They're not taken care of. They make it on their own. I run out of words when we come to describe it. It's just something just fantastic, and when you're around it, you get it.
About 34,000 wild horses roam rangelands in 10 states managed by the government. Nevada has the largest population.
We have roughly just over 20,000 wild horses currently going into this year's full crop.
With no natural predators, herd sizes can double every 4 years.
Wild horses aren't a self-regulating species, so they're going to keep growing. They're keep reproducing. Their natural instinct is to have a baby.
As herds grow, the western landscape shrinks.
We've got areas where we've got horses that are coming in and encroaching on civilization. They've become urban.
To keep horse and habitat in check, the BLM conducts periodic roundups or gathers each year.
You got to control the population because Mother Nature doesn't, or she will later, in the sense when they get so high, they damage water sources, the forage base that they're living on. They'll eventually decline themselves based on the loss of habitat and feed.
An approach that has brought the agency under fire.
Using helicopters to round up horses is inherently dangerous. You're moving horses over long distances, sometimes over difficult terrain. It's often difficult for the helicopter pilot to accurately assess the stress and the problems that the horses are having on the ground.
The BLM gathers between 8,000 and 12,000 wild horses each year. Of those, 3,000 to 4,000 are adopted, the rest put in holding facilities, sometimes for years.
When we make the commitment to remove excess horses, we make the commitment to take care of them. We've got facilities that we rent in the Midwest, Kansas, Oklahoma, South Dakota, that are really big ranches. And we put the horses that we can adopt out onto those ranches where they can live out their life being a horse.
For Westerners, it's an emotional issue.
We need to look at a whole variety of approaches which reduces the dependency on removals of horses.
We're doing research on use of fertility control to help control the population growth. Also, we're looking at sex ratio adjustments in or gelding of horses. Nothing's really proven to be the kind of the savior of the program yet.
Unless you count the human saviors. Shirley Allen has witnessed the casualties of gathers and Mother Nature.
Look, kiss. Look, yes. Good morning to you. Eat your breakfast.
And brought some back from the brink of death.
Come over here, give me a little kiss. Over here.
In the shadow of Nevada's Pine Nut Mountains,
You're too starving.
Shirley runs the Lucky Horse Rescue Corral, a shelter and adoption agency for sick, injured, and Mustangs.
Over here. This is Cody. This is my firstborn. My love, my soul, my main man. He was our first Mustang.
No one is turned away.
Hi, little babies.
Because they're Shirley's kids.
They're family. They're not a pet. They're not an animal or critter. Once you adopt any living little being, they're your heart and your home. Personality plus, this one.
Most of the animals become domesticated quickly, making it unfit for them then to go back to the wild. So Shirley finds them good homes.
Come here, sweetie. Just being with them, it's worth every single second. It's just amazing. Huh.
Lucky are the animals saved by Shirley Allen. Lucky is the woman loved by so many kids. Back at the farm in Chattanooga, man and Mustang get acquainted. Trainer Ed Dabney has 100 days to gentle a Mustang formerly known as 0320, temporarily named Charlie. On day one, lessons are brief, starting with the most important.
So what we're all about here is just building some trust in that first touch. What's going to happen when that human hand touches me for the first time? And I want to be able just to touch him and then leave, so he knows that that was the end of it and that's all I wanted.
But trust is still a little out of reach.
You're okay.
Body language speaks volumes.
You're okay. Good boy. If everything we're going to teach this horse from now on, if you put all that on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the finished horse, riding around doing everything you want to do, and 0 being about where he is now, then the part from 0 to 1 is the most important part, and maybe the part that's the hardest and takes the longest.
Trainer Pam Hamilton cautiously approaches Charlie on foot.
Good boy. you can't be on any time schedule when you're working with a horse like this. You just have to put your watch away and take the time that it takes to get it right.
And just when it seems like trust is lost, the threshold is crossed.
A lot of trust happening there now.
The first touch of a human hand, an extraordinary moment.
Let him soak on that. Think about what a good deal that was.
And the foundation for friendship forms.
I'm really pleased with him. He's definitely come a long way in just a few hours.
Progress, no matter how small, is measured as great success.
Let him soak on that. We've become a microwave society. If we can't push a button and get it in 30 seconds, we don't want it. But that's this is far from that type of mindset. You have to really think about going back to an older way, a way that connects with nature and the rhythm of life and nature and how the horse accepts things.
Definitely a connection worth waiting for. As Charlie learns to work outside his comfort zone, so will a group of inner-city girls. It's the very first field trip for the Chattanooga Girls Leadership Academy, Tennessee's only girls' public charter school.
It's a school for girls who have some academic challenges, but for whom we know have all the potential in the world to become successful.
Most students have never stepped foot on a farm before, making it as foreign to them as coming here was for Charlie.
You are probably going to experience something that you have never, ever experienced before. And that is meeting the wild horse, the Mustang.
Sue Ann Wells is the host, also co-founder of the Chattanooga Girls Leadership Academy, or CGLA for short.
So when you're looking at the Mustang, I want you to think, do I see myself in this Mustang? Is she a reflection of me?
For Sue Ann, the answer is clear.
If it weren't for the Mustang, I don't think I would have had the vision and been comfortable enough with myself with what I had to offer this community, and found this wonderful first public charter school in Chattanooga. Good girl.
Stepping outside comfort zones, something Sue Ann learned from a Mustang named Narcy.
My mission is to bring public awareness to the wild Mustang, and dressage is one way to do that. Unfortunately for me, that means I'm going to have to show her.
Good, a little more rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
In the equine world, dressage is known as horse ballet, a comfortable fit for Sue Ann, who drew from her own skills as a dancer.
It's very, very subtle. And same with dance. You know, when you're partnering, you have to really feel what your partner is saying to you, because there are no words. Just like in dressage, there's no spoken word. It's all about body language.
Yes. Good. Yes.
The restrictive movements of dressage don't seem well suited for a free-roaming Mustang, but Narcy took to it easily.
And what I love about the Mustang is there's no baggage. You know, no human has touched these horses, and so they're a blank slate, and you get them and they're yours. Okay, Sweet Pea. Oh, your favorite time of the day.
Then there are those rare moments when you witness something truly spectacular.
There, she's incredibly vulnerable, but she's happy. Was that pretty good? Oh, yeah.
Now, if the girls from CGLA could just find happiness from their farm experience too.
We thought, you know, this would be a wonderful way to ease them in to Chattanooga Girls Leadership Academy, so that by the first week of school, they're comfortable with each other, and they're comfortable with their own identity.
Learning in a barn beats learning from a book. By day's end, the girls find their way around new surroundings. Tomorrow, they'll meet someone else trying to find his way. It's been 4 days since Charlie's arrival on the farm. 96 more until the Mustang Makeover, a training competition for Charlie to show judges and the public his know-how.
Good boy.
Today's lesson is met with uncertainty and resistance.
Whoop. First time he's had some real weight on him that he couldn't get off. So he's just learning to be friends with his saddle. You know, some people would just saddle him up and turn him loose and let him buck around and work it all out by themselves, but I've been right here with him for the past 4 days, building trust, and you're okay, and letting him, the two of us build a relationship together. You're okay. See, that's just a lot of work, isn't it? Good. And I like that he wants to come right in here and stand with me. And that'll help him to find some comfort and some peace. Good boy. Good boy. You're okay.
Hey, Buddy. Hey, Breezy. Hey, Breezy.
Comfort and peace are what CGLA educators hope students will find in this barn.
If you want to look in the camera, look in the camera, Breezy.
Not many of the girls have had the opportunity to actually come face to face with a horse. You know, they're used to coming in contact with humans, and maybe some of them have pets at home, but not actually being around a horse. I think this is the first.
Callie, please don't hurt me.
Many students have trepidation.
I thought the horses were going to come out and attack me because they're so big.
But soon, fears subside
You are so adorable.
because most realized that their impression of these animals was mistaken.
It's so precious.
Feeling some know firsthand.
Our plan is for these girls to overcome any sort of fear or anxiety or lack of self-confidence, which they clearly have. After spending time with some of them today, that is more of an issue than I imagined.
He's so pretty.
A soft touch, reaching hearts and minds like no hard cover. The girls head down the road to meet someone else learning the power of a soft touch.
They will see that truly horses, these humongous creatures in their eyes, these powerful, powerful animals, also are very, very fearful, especially when put in a new situation.
Turning assumption into compassion, a message best heard straight from the, you know.
He's in school right now, and he's preparing for his career. And his career is going to be to carry people around, to be a riding horse.
Like any student, Charlie gets his first test.
Let's show Charlie what it's going to be like to be in front of 6,000 people, yelling and screaming and clapping and jumping up and down and whatever you want to do. Okay? He needs it. Come on, I can't hear you.
Harnessing unbridled energy doesn't come easy for a Range Rover or a city slicker. Something they're learning together. More than 1,000 miles from Chattanooga, in a city known for far-out visitors, is a place that keeps troubled kids grounded. In a way some might consider far out.
Go ahead and get the halters. Get one for Bo, Chico, and Bucky.
17-year-old Sheldon is one of a few dozen teens living at Assurance Home in Roswell, New Mexico.
At first you're like, oh, I could do that. That looks pretty easy, but still the fact that, you get around the horses, so don't walk behind them, especially if there's, and don't spook them when you're behind them because you can get kicked. So it's kind of intimidating the first time you're around them.
For the kids who live here, many with serious emotional or family problems, the place lives up to its name.
We try very hard to give our kids a nice home environment, loving support from adults, and then we offer therapy for our children so that they can process all their past trauma. And basically Assurance Home is just a place trying to help kids create a better life for themselves.
Now let him know you're getting on. Good job.
One way is through the Mustang Project.
Well, the Mustang Project is one of our favorite projects. We've been doing it for a little over 10 years. When we adopt these little green broke Mustangs and we bring them back to Assurance Home, and then our kids work with these little Mustangs and try to gentle them so that we can then give them to therapeutic riding programs all across the country.
I'm going to step out.
It's Assurance Home's way of one charity giving back to another.
Now the left rein should have a little pressure on it.
In the process, the kids learn a thing or two about Mustangs and about themselves.
Good job.
If their lives aren't going well, they can't just say, life is bad. They need to look at themselves and they need to look at how they approach life. And I think that's one of the greatest things about this project is it helps kids look at themselves and know what they can change about themselves to make their lives better.
Use your foot to just edge him around. If you use it too much, he's gonna jump.
Sheldon has lived most of his life in and out of treatment centers and foster homes.
You ready? Here we go. Walk.
He admits to being impulsive, something he realized doesn't work with a wild horse.
When Sheldon came out here the first time, he was, I don't know, I kind of call them those TV or movie cowboys. He was sure that he could just jump on the horse and gallop off into the sunset or rope a calf or whatever. We probably should put some of that rainmaker on there.
Lee Kaiser is Cowboy, counselor, and caretaker of the Mustang Project.
When we first get these horses, the first thing we do is to try to find out what they really like, what really makes them happy, so that we can establish a bond and a relationship with them. We want to get it where they want to please us and want to do what we want to, and that's the way we are with the kids.
As the horses learn the meaning of trust, so do the kids, and often for the first time.
I was in a regular treatment center, just boys treatment center, and they just had a big old building around with the courtyard. That's all we had.
Good job.
13-year-old Matthew had some trouble spots that didn't work out in other out-of-home settings.
Well, my lying and not really being honest.
Matthew's had a problem in school and other placements with temper. And unfortunately or fortunately, I've seen it a time or two, never around the horses.
But he's honest about his first encounters with a Mustang.
Yeah, I've always been scared of riding horses, kind of afraid I'm always going to get bucked off or falling.
There, he kind of perked his ears up and looked. Yeah.
Like Matthew, this Mustang named Bucky had to overcome fear to prepare for his job as a therapeutic riding horse.
See if he thinks this is a threat or not.
Which means Lee and his young horsemen must create situations that might arise when helping children with physical or emotional needs.
If you have some kid running up, oh, horsey, 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 and grabs onto him, we don't want the horse to jump up or step on him. So we try to desensitize them to just about everything you can. Take it above your head and wave it around, see?
Little by little, the trainers expose Bucky to new things, taking him outside his comfort zone, as Bucky often does to them.
I just think that if they can do things and achieve it, I could try doing the same thing.
Heavy enough we could probably rope with it if we wanted to.
Training and caring for these Mustangs teaches these kids responsibility, gives them confidence, and something else.
They've taught me, like I said, to slow down and look at things in a different perspective instead of jumping right into it. And they've taught me a lot of respect. And if you can respect your horse, then your horse is more likely going to respect you. And what else have you taught me? Just Chico.
That's one that's short.
But one day, horse and trainers must part ways.
It's gonna make me kind of upset, but I still know that I did the right thing by helping them here.
A painfully familiar feeling for kids who know the meaning of loss.
There are broken attachments that I think are maybe not good for kids, but then there's those wonderful attachments, like with a horse, that you will always remember, and that they helped strengthen your life a little bit. So our kids learn and grow from all of our experiences. So giving a horse away is one of those life experiences that we think helps our kids become better people.
Okay, let's trot. You ready, Matthew?
Who knew learning to gentle horses could lead to gentle men? Men who've had their own wild tamed a bit.
Locked up in this place are residents, trapped behind a metal wire fence. Sometimes at the distant hills they gaze, looking for something to fill their days.
I was sentenced to 48 months to 144, 4 to 12 years for DUI causing injury.
Meet German Lechuga.
I've never been arrested in my life, so it was a first.
He was underage and overconfident, and his DUI conviction landed him in northern Nevada's correctional center.
I was just living life too fast, not thinking about tomorrow, just living the moment.
Then something just as free-spirited and fast slowed him down.
There's a pecking order in this place, as evidenced by a fresh-cut face. Survival of the fittest is her creed, and that's the rough-cut nature of the breed.
Oh yeah, you're afraid, I mean, a little nervous, but that's always good to keep you, alert.
Adjacent to the prison facility where the Sierra Nevada embraced the rustic range, wild man meets wild horse.
It takes a guy with a lot of guts, really. I like a guy that has a positive attitude. If you get a guy that's a mamby-pamby, he's not going to make it. We're going to go back to some basics here.
Hank Curry is program manager of the Stewart Conservation Camp, a holding facility for 600 wild horses.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach this horse to come to me.
It's also a training ground for Mustangs being readied for adoption.
I'm also smooching. I'll either smooch or cluck, and I train most of my horses that way, and that means move your feet or speed up.
Hank is a no-nonsense guy who doesn't take guff from ponies or prisoners.
I'm probably not the easiest guy to work for, but if you put forth the effort, have a want to, I usually find a way to get it done.
Sometimes the dominant ones just for spite, like crazed animals, kick, stone, or bite. The submissive ones find a place to hide. Their hearts are pounding, petrified.
That's probably pretty good right there.
Honesty and the honor system are sacred on this 1,000-acre minimum security ranch. There are gates, bars, and holding pens, but not for the inmates. For them, the job is a privilege.
There he comes. That's a sense of pride for these guys.
The majority of inmate trainers at Stewart Conservation Camp have no experience with horses. In 4 months, they must turn a Nevada wild Mustang into a green-broke or saddle-ready horse.
Oh, I was a used car salesman in the streets, so I've never been around any horses in my life.
Yet German Lechuga realized he and his horse had a lot in common.
He was free, I was free, and we both got captured and came here.
And their bond grew.
I don't trust many people, you know. Same thing with the horse. He doesn't know anything about trust, so we kind of learned trust at the same time. I learned to trust him, and he learned to trust me.
Along the way, protege became teacher.
Patience is the #1 thing that you learn here. I wasn't patient at all, and the horses have been teaching me to be patient.
This red roan named Strawberry is German's 4th Mustang.
At first, he was a little aggressive. You know, you would walk by his corral and he would pin his ears at you. He didn't trust nobody, and he just needed a friend.
So deep is their friendship that Strawberry is willing to be put in a horse's most vulnerable position.
Well, it takes a lot of trust for, you know, another person or animal to get on the horse like this. If I was a predator, I would eat him up right now. So, you know, he has trust in me. He's real relaxed right now. He knows I'm not gonna hurt him. And you could take a nap with your horse, you know?
They've accepted the fact that they're confined and escape rarely crosses their mind. Some are studs and extremely tough. All will work if pushed hard enough.
He takes a lot of pride in his horses, and I really like that part, because a guy that takes pride in his horse, the horse will show a reflection of the guy.
Reflections a man can carry with him from saddle to street.
I don't know if this may sound weird, but I feel like I'm getting prepared for fatherhood. You gotta reward the kid for trying. Same with the horse. Every time he tries, he gets rewarded. And at the end, you know, he trusted you so much that we're laying together.
Trust between two souls who lost their freedom, neither one caring about the other's past. Ultimately, both finding their sense of purpose. "100 days after his first human touch, and many other firsts, Charlie says goodbye to the farm, his foster home for the last 4 months. The road to Charlie's future awaits him 100 miles away in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Welcome to the Extreme Mustang Makeover Stampede, a national training competition created by the Mustang Heritage Foundation.
We came up with the idea that in 100 days, if we could show the public that these horses can be transformed into great riding partners, that we'll have an opportunity to get more horses adopted.
Trainers and horses compete in a series of obstacles for $25,000 in prize money, and the horses are then available for adoption.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
First, a preliminary round.
Ladies and gentlemen, next we bring you Charlie, 4-year-old brown gelding from the herd management area of Deer Lodge Canyon, Nevada. Trained and shown today by Ed Dabney of Dacula, Georgia.
As Ed and Charlie navigate the horse course, Charlie's cheerleaders from Chattanooga Girls Leadership Academy eagerly watch. The girls come to give moral support, remembering where Charlie started and how far he's come. With the round finish, Charlie's fate is in the hands of the judges.
I'm sure I got counted off for not trotting over the poles, but other than that, I was real happy with everything.
One by one, the names are read, -1. Disappointment is hard to hide, even for a cowboy gentleman.
They had good rides, really good rides, so yeah, I congratulate all of them.
But Charlie's friends look beyond his rankings. They know success isn't the sum of a few mistakes.
He's improved so much. I mean, even though he's not mine, I'm so proud of him.
Alone, horse and trainer share their final moments.
This is a hard time, really, because I mean, my whole life has been wrapped up in Charlie the last 3 months, and to let him go, you know, it's going to be tough.
Together, they've come so far. A wild horse trusting his survival into a stranger's hands. A human patiently channeling the energy of an animal built on instinct.
Charlie, old buddy, find you a good home tomorrow. And be good to him. Be a good boy.
Two and a half anywhere around to get a half, 250. Now three, $300 bid where to give me three. $300 bid where to get singing lessons are included. $500 to a young man upstairs there. Thank you.
Finally, adoption day. Ed wishes the best for his friend.
He is a fantastic trail horse. He loves to be out in the woods or on the trail, and he likes to see what's over the next hill. So that's really what I hope for him, is just a recreational trail horse.
$500 where to give me five. $500 where to give me five. $500.
The person with the high bid must keep the horse for a year before receiving title on it.
So it isn't just, you know, oh, I want a horse. It is a true commitment and a thought process that has to go into it before you become an adopter.
Give me 2,000, John.
High rankings in the makeover usually mean higher bids. For trainers, the process is bittersweet.
It's just heartbreaking. One time, one of the security officers that was at the back gate told me, he said, next year you're going to have to get a grief counselor out here. I can't take this.
I'm hoping to be able to take him home. My husband's going to bid on him for me. I hope.
Oh. It's the separation then. After a hard 100 days of creating a connection, you have to break that connection and kiss that horse and send it down the road. And so it's an emotional upheaval, but and pride is such a big piece of this.
Don't feel like because these little gals are crying, you're taking something away from them, because you're not. These little girls have worked so hard and they've gotten attached to these horses, but they can't keep them. If they could, they would.
And as you can see, we involved a brushstroke of America. These are not wealthy people that are doing this. These are grassroots individuals that care about these horses and make a commitment.
Let's give hubby a big hand, $1,000 right there.
And once again, the Extreme Mustang Makeover saves a marriage.
A commitment that is sometimes rewarded with the element of surprise.
That guy in the yellow shirt, you don't know him? Okay, well, go meet him, because you got 63. A terrific home for your horse, and I think...
He's going home.
Oh, he's going home with you.
63.
Oh, God.
The Mustang Heritage Foundation places about 1,000 Mustangs a year. Each adoption saves taxpayers $14,000 in federal funds allocated to the care of these American icons.
Coming in now, here's hip number 56, Charlie. Deer Launch, Canada, Nevada, 4-year-old brown gelding, trained and shown by Ed Dabney.
Finally, it's Charlie's turn.
$175. Give me 75.
For $950, Charlie gets a new home. His new owners, a piece of history, and a love. On a rain-kissed country morning, above the rolling hills of Guntersville, Alabama, gray clouds loom.
Hi, guys.
But it's no bother to Janet Cully.
Good morning.
Inside this barn is all the silver lining she'll ever need.
Good morning, Friday. If I am not feeling great one morning and I'll come into the barn, within 15 minutes, those horses have me feeling like the best lady in the world, you know. Pretty amazing, yeah.
Jan and her husband, Jim, have 12 horses on their 10-acre ranch. 3 of them are Mustangs.
This is America's heritage, and they're just so beautiful. They're just animals of just power and might and glory, and Americans should be really proud because they're just part of you, you know. They're part of me too.
But one particular Mustang with an unpretentious name stole Jan's heart.
Good boy, Charlie. My whole demeanor just relaxed on him. The first time I rode him, I just really felt I was in heaven, you know. My troubles were gone, my worries were gone, and it was just he and I, and it was just the two of us became one.
To Jan, life without Charlie seems unimaginable, but it almost didn't happen. Jim figured 11 horses was enough.
Okay, just a minute, Mardi Gras. He was always saying to me, we cannot have any more horses.
While window shopping at the Mustang Makeover adoption, a certain horse caught Jim's eye. This time, Janet put her foot down.
Well, honey, we can't have another horse, but if you want to play a little bit, there's a lot of bidding going on, so just hold your card up if it makes you feel good. He held the card up, and I heard somebody say, the man on the back row, and I'm looking round to see who'd got this horse that my husband liked, and it was him. So we had another Mustang. Easy, big boy.
It wasn't long before Jim's new horse became Jan's new horse.
Okay, sweetheart. My husband kind of said to me, he says, well, he said, you're not going to be Mama, are you? And I said, no. I said, I'm Charlie's angel. And of course, my Christmas present was a belt buckle that said Charlie's angel from the Extreme Makeover where we got him from. So, yeah. This is it, and I'm Charlie's angel. Come on, baby.
A fitting title for Charlie's savior. But out in the pasture, it's Charlie who plays the role of protector.
Well, he is now the head honcho around here. You know, he takes care of the girls, the mares outside, and if anybody misbehaves, he sends them to the outside of the herd until they know how to behave. It's a pretty day today, isn't it?
Just riding Charlie gives his angel her wings.
Hey, Charlie. This is fun, huh, buddy? I'd like that bond between us to grow so deep that he can trust me with anything, anywhere, and let me carry him through the rough, rocky parts, you know, if there are any. There you go.
As he carries her. He was plucked from Nevada's barren Rocky Range, hauled cross-country to the Tennessee Valley, ended up in a loving home near the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. Charlie touched many lives. In return, an angel touched him. But the Mustang is a reflection of our own soul, having taken risks, stared fear in the face, and survived. Painful or proud, we all have a past we can choose to ignore or embrace, build on or blame. But no matter where we come from, no matter where we go, we always take with us a piece of our own untamed legacy.
Isn't that beautiful here, Charlie? I know, I know.
Born to freedom, born to wander, born for running with the wind. way it's always been. Seems I saw